Hey, Traveler. Paimon.
Oh, Paimon knows that voice!
Over here. To borrow one of the more popular turns of phrase at the moment, this appears to be quite the fated reunion. Running into you two out of the blue like this has really made my day.
You can say that again. Wait, Paimon's got it! You must be here for when he...
Actually, we've run into a bit of trouble on the home front.
Oh, are Lynette and Fremen...
Yep, along with most of the other members of the House of the Hearth. You may have...
So you're saying nearly the entire organization has moved to Poisson?
Since the two of you are so curious, perhaps I can fill in the gaps.
You scared Paimon half to death!
Father, you're here.
You know... on second thought, maybe we don't need to know? It's all probably super confidential House of the Hearth stuff, right? We totally weren't trying to pry or anything.
No need to be nervous. I could sense your genuine concern from your conversation just now. Of course, I can also understand your confusion. Sending so many Fatui here to Poisson, it's only natural that some might suspect an ulterior motive to be involved. I understand. I'm well aware you've had your fair share of confrontations with the Fatui in the past, and I can't exactly guarantee that we'll remain on good terms in the future. As for right now, however, I would say we have little reason to be at odds, wouldn't you agree? The House of the Hearth could stand to be more open with those who have worked so closely with us in the past. As for the issue at hand, well, it hardly relates to any ulterior motive. To be frank, it all stems from a certain rumor circulating around the House of the Hearth. It's an internal matter.
What sort of rumor?
A rumor that a certain phantom child is hiding away in the House of the Hearth.
A phantom child? Ooh, just hearing the name is giving Paimon the creeps.
A spirit that should have long ceased to exist is lurking in the shadows of the House of the Hearth. So I decided to bring the children to Poisson before continuing to investigate the situation. I expect I should be able to track down the spirit fairly quickly. After that, it's just a matter of resolving the situation, if you will. It shouldn't be much trouble at all. If you're curious, or if you still have some concerns, it might be advisable to stick around for a few days. I'm sure the children would be exceedingly pleased to welcome some visitors. Lenny, I'll leave you to entertain our guests. I have some matters to attend to.
Of course, Father. It has long been a dream of mine to invite you. You're quite well known in the organization already. If you're willing, why don't you
All right. We don't have anything else to do right now anyway. But let's be clear, we're just gonna be there as
Of course. During our stay in Poisson, we've been helping out the locals with some fishing. We bring in quite the bounty every... Let's go. I'll take you to... We rented this house from one of the locals to use as a temporary base. I'll come back later and tidy up a bit. After that, it should be all ready for you to stay.
Awesome, thanks!
Well, when I happened to run into you two earlier, I was with this many people staying in Poisson, we have to bring in outside supplies every now and then. I should probably make sure...
Okay, Well, there are all sorts of rumors about your organization floating around out there. Paimon's not sure if she could even take a wild guess as to what's true. But now that we finally have the chance to see a day in the life of the house...
Well, you're more than welcome to come.
Linny, you're finally here. The supplies.
Brought them with me? Hello?
It's the Traveler and Paimon!
No way! Come here, everyone! Hurry! The Traveler and Paimon are...
One at a time, please. Don't crowd around them all.
Oh, it's all right! Gotta say, Paimon didn't... Of course! Father and Linny...
Father told us about how you helped Linny. According to her, you're a trustworthy friend. And as far as she's concerned, that's pretty much the highest compliment we've ever heard her give. As you can imagine, everyone's been very...
I heard the Traveler is so strong that he can move... I heard Paimon eats so much that she can clean out the entire pantry at Hotel Tabor in just 3 days! Wait a second! That's the rumor you heard about Paimon? Oh, not cool at all! Oh, wait! When guests visit, you're supposed to give them gifts and stuff, right? Oh, we don't need something like that. Come on, we insist. I can give you some of my new potions. Just pick your poison. And by that, I mean medicine or actual poison. I've got both. Huh? Or maybe Shaplo can teach you guys about stealth. He's super good at it. He's never been caught.
Ah, now that's not a bad idea. I know you usually prefer to fight head-on, but it never hurts to expand your bag of tricks, right? I was poisoned not too long ago, and I'm still dealing with the after effects.
Wait, when you said gifts... But those are the best things we can give you. Ooh, how about this? Tell me the name of someone you...
All right, Fold, Selwar. I think that's enough suggestions for now. When it comes to being a good host, it's the thought that counts. You don't need a physical gift to make our guests happy. In fact, pestering them with suggestion after suggestion might make them more annoyed than anything. I would say your enthusiasm has...
Really? Awesome! It's been so long since we've had... Yeah, especially if it's poison or something. I've got...
Well, we'll talk to you all later.
All right, see you later.
Bye! Lenny, about all that poison!
Scared you, did it? When Foltz was really young, he strangled all of his family pets. Just out of curiosity. Elwar has an unnatural obsession with potions. Father has forbidden her from trying all the different concoctions she comes up. Chaplot is around my age. While I'm mainly responsible for collecting intelligence, he handles surveillance. He's very passionate about his work and has no reservations about taking on some I know you two probably aren't used to that kind of talk, but I can promise you they only had the best of intentions. Things like stealth... Filial, supplies are here.
Thanks. And who are these two?
Allow me to introduce you.
Oh, you're the famous... It's nice to meet you. I heard you've tried...
Of course! We're making our way...
Oh, good for...
You must be pretty familiar with Fontaine by now, then. Have you seen the new opera that started running recently? I think it's called... The 4,000 Thieves?
Oh, this is the first...
It seems like it's going to be fantastic.
Oh, and there's the Blind Maiden. After this mission is over?
Oh, maybe I should...
Is it just Paimon, nor do these two seem much.
I heard that.
Oh!
I'm guessing you're referring to Foltz and the other.
I bet those crazies are practically foaming at the mouth right now. I'm sure they just can't.
That's enough, Filial.
Don't talk about family members behind.
Guess this is goodbye then. If you ever have some time, we.
Well, that's it for this.
Well, they didn't seem too happy with each other. Seems like there could be something more going on here. You're right. We're only. Oh, Linny's getting super.
So, what do you think of the members? Well, Father is always encouraging us to be strong-willed. Well, I should probably get cooked.
Of course!
Then let's head out and... Fremine, what are you doing here?
Well,
Lemonade! Nice to see you!
you too.
We were just going to make some food. Why don't you come along? I could use some help in the kitchen.
Seafood?
Were you looking for something just now?
It's nothing.
Yeah, we've got some left over.
Some food and water.
No problem. Give me a second here. Food, water... Wait a minute. What do you need all of those for? You're not on any missions as far as I'm aware, and you were just going to come eat with us. So what's this all about?
I thought I'd...
Fremine, you remember what I told you? You're not like me. Your lying skills still need some work. Tell me what's going on. Is it really bad enough that you have to keep it from your own brother?
Maybe it'll be better if we gave them some space.
This is the first time I've seen that kind of look.
Just...
You're back! Oh, and you've brought some friends with you this time.
Hello, my name's Linny.
Hi, Linny. I'm also a child of the House of the Hearth, just like you. You can call me Clairvy.
Clairvy?
It's nice to meet. Does that name ring any bells, Linny?
No, not at all. That's not a name we have on our She must be the phantom child Father's been searching for. From the looks of it.
No, I haven't told anyone.
For how long?
About...
So ever since we got to Poisson, then?
I know what I'm doing.
Really? 'Cause from where I'm standing, it looks like you're hiding the very person Father has been trying to find. If Father finds out about this, everyone involved is going to be punished. You know the rules of the house, Fremine. I know you do. Father doesn't tolerate any form of betrayal.
I've thought it through. And I just can't hand her over like that. Linny, don't you remember last year? Sheplo nearly died after getting poisoned during that one mission. He wasn't able to get back before the poison started taking effect. And that night, while I was sleeping, I heard a voice telling me to go save him. That feeling of being haunted, of hearing voices.
So what you're saying is that...
Unless there are other spirits roaming around the House of the Hearth, if Clairvy were our enemy, it wouldn't matter whether she was a spirit or an actual child. I would have acted without a second thought, because that's what Father ordered us to do. But she's been living with us, helping us from the shadows all this time. I couldn't just hand her over to be dealt with. Not when there's so much we still don't know.
So what's your plan then? You can't keep her here forever. Someone is bound to find out eventually.
I haven't thought that far yet.
Come with me. There are a couple things I'd...
Those two sure care a lot of... Well, they got a funny way of showing it. From where Paimon was floating, it sure seemed like they were about to bite each... No way! They have a really deep bond. I could tell right away, because I also have a friend like that. I just don't know how long that kind of bond can last. The darkness in the house runs deeper than you can imagine.
I'm sorry, Linny.
Oh, really? You didn't mean to? 'Cause I, for one, wish you did.
Huh?
You know, when we were younger, you didn't call me Linny. We grew up together, the three of us. We were all orphans, all rescued by Fop. Later on, when you started calling me Linny, I wasn't actually surprised.
Linny,
The darkest and most difficult moments of my life happened before you and I had ever met. I'm sure that's true for you as well. Even so, Fremine, you and Lynette are the most important people in my life. No one can...
Oh, looks like things are getting kind of heated between Linny and... Oh, it's raining. I should put my clothes away. Hey, you two! Hope we aren't interrupting anything. Like a fight, or... Oh, wait a minute, Fremine.
everything's...
Well, we're all friends here, right? We've been through...
It's just a small family dispute. It's not something our guests should trouble themselves with. In fact, it might be better if your stay ended...
What are you getting at, Trav?
When guests are around, families are often on their best behavior. And any disputes are less likely... I... just... Thank you.
Me too.
Well, back to the matter at hand then. If we don't plan on handing Clairvy over to Father, then our only other option is to solve the mystery of her identity before Father is able to... That means finding out where she came from and what she's doing here. Then...
I've tried that,
And?
And... nothing. She even came with us all the way to Poisson. It seems like wherever the house is...
I don't know much about...
Let's see here. Paimon remembers... Oh, it's just that Paimon doesn't really remember where she heard that, so...
Well, sounds like it's worth a shot. Guess that means we should go ask...
What is it?
I need you to promise me that this will stay between the two of us. We're the...
Of course.
All right. Then let's seal the promise just like when we were kids. Fist bump on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I swear.
Whoa!
Lynette!
But what a surprise! What brings you here, dear sister? And, when exactly did you get here?
You're an idiot, brother. And you too, Fremine. You 3, Traveler. And you 4, Paimon.
Wait, what did we do?
I've seen Clairvy around the House of the Hearth before. I hadn't seen her in Poisson, so I figured she must not have come with us. But it turns out you were just hiding her. I heard you talking about your plan. Rather than steering clear of the situation, I'd rather fully join in. If you don't agree, I'll have no choice but to report everything back to Father. Simple as that.
You're not giving us much wiggle room here, Lynette. Well, I guess we're all in this together then. After we talk, there's no time to lose.
I'm full. She said she's full, but the food doesn't look like it's even been touched.
That's right. based on what I've been... Still, when she's presented with food, she'll always linger around.
Does she know that she has already passed?
I've tried to ask her, but she didn't answer. My guess...
Clairvy, if you've got some time, I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Sure. Oh, another new friend.
Hello.
Clairvy, how did you...
Huh? The knave brings you here and...
It's just that your name...
The roster? Oh, the people in charge. They're not as nice as they look. They say they keep a roster, but it's not complete. There are a lot of people who aren't on it, and never will be. In this house, some people are family, and other people are just test subjects. Those kinds of people aren't ever going to get a place on the roster, unless it's the roster of people who've been executed. Wait, does that mean that...
Is there anyone that can vouch for you?
Perry, she's my best friend. She's the only...
Have either of you heard of that name before?
No.
Me neither.
Clairvy, Perry. But it seems like she's telling the truth. Maybe we should try...
A wish?
It can be anything you want. Just imagine. It's your birthday, you're blowing out the candles, and your wish is...
To where the sun can find... That's it? Well, that sounds easy enough. The darkness in the house runs deeper.
Okay, time to divide and conquer. I'll try and find a way to use basic illusory magic to take Clairvy outside and bring... Lynette, try and find the list of executions that Clairvy was talking about. And Fremine, you stay in Poisson. We can't be the only ones who've had run-ins with Clairvy. I need you to collect...
Understood.
I'll try my best.
What about us?
I really appreciate your willingness to help, but this is a family matter. Let me think. Since Father considers you to be guests, maybe you could...
Ah, Paimon gets it. You want us to distract...
I'll give you a magic bird. If Father suspects something, all you need to do is release it when she's not looking, and it'll... Of course, that's only as a last resort. If Father doesn't seem to notice us, there's no need to make contact. If the worst-case scenario happens and we're discovered, just tell Father everything. We're not going to... You too. I really hope this goes well. Clairvy, I'd like to take you...
The wind knows me.
It's the knave! And... child! Hey, aren't you supposed to be in Snezhnaya recuperating?
Oh, it's you two. I didn't expect to run into you here. I was unconscious for quite a while after the fight in the Primordial Sea. After I woke up, I couldn't have that now, could I? Not when I've still got unfinished business here in Fontaine.
What sort of unfinished business are we talking?
It has to do with Skirk, my master. I really wanted to meet up with her. I still have so many questions for her. Without any other leads, all I could do was ask the knave to help me track her down.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, no. While the House of the Hearth is adept at collecting all manner of intelligence, certain existences can still manage to escape our...
Basically, unless Master feels there's a need to meet with me. But that problem has an easy fix. I just need...
Paimon thinks you should focus on...
The worst of it's all thanks to that one kid from the House of the Hearth. Elwar, I think her name was. She gave me a bunch of random potions to drink. They didn't go down easy, let me tell you. And that's good, because it looks like I really do have to head back this time. The old man's been putting the pressure on me. He sent someone to tell me I'm needed for some sort of...
Project Stuja?
Yeah, that's the one. I heard Regrator's involved too. I'm not looking forward to having to listen to all his monologuing, that's for sure. Hey, maybe you could think of a way for me to stay... Helping Linny and the others brush up on their fighting skills would be far more interesting. If you and I could spar, that would be even better.
And what a sweet little daydream that is. But I also have a role to play in all this. I'll be leaving Fontaine shortly as well. Besides, considering how little they see fit to step outside the homeland, being called on to return to Snezhnaya by such illustrious dignitaries, what a great honor. Wouldn't you agree?
One I could do with...
Is it just Paimon? Or does it kind of seem like they're...
So, dear guests of the House of the Hearth, to what...
right! We're super close to...
Is that so? Introductions have already...
you see? There's only so much...
Good question.
The fact that you have to ask tells me our intelligence work has been quite successful. Telling you the answer to that question would only serve to undermine that success. And we can't...
Spoken like a true diplomat. That was some expert sidestepping right there.
Well, if there's nothing else, I think I'll take my leave. I still have a small matter to resolve at home.
Wait, don't go!
I've met some of the members of your organization, and they all seemed like really good. Which, by the way, if you ever betray them, I'm just letting you know.
And why would I betray...
Well, you've already betrayed the House of the Hearth once, haven't you? At least, that's what I... Okay, I admit. That's just what the old man told me. The rooster, I mean.
Wait, did you really... do something.
Never mind what I've done. I'm more curious as to what the mighty rooster had to say. Care to enlighten me?
Ah, well, nothing much. Just some stuff about you taking out many other members of the House of the Hearth, and even going so far to attack your own family.
I see.
Oh, based on your reaction, I'm guessing it.
Hardly. I don't appreciate his particular turns of phrase, but I suppose he didn't say anything untrue. Although it would be more accurate to say that there is a certain level of prejudice involved. But I don't intend to clear that up just yet. Prejudice has a funny way of concealing the real truth behind certain things, an attribute that I find to be quite advantageous. Call yourself a Fontanian, for example, and people will assume all sorts of things, when the real truth is that this is simply the land where I was raised.
Huh? You're not actually from Fontaine? But then why did you try to help out with the prophecy and everything?
I was trying to protect the children born in Fontaine. Claiming that I myself was a Fontanian simply made it easier to operate. People would hardly suspect a fellow Fontanian of having any ulterior motives. Who wouldn't want to save their homeland after all? The primordial sea wouldn't have any effect on me, but it would have caused great harm to the House of the Hearth. Well, you wanted extra information, didn't you? There you go. I hope that satisfied your curiosity.
So, you stayed in Fontaine for the kids. I guess I was wrong to believe you'd betray them. Apologies. Looks like I was holding on to some prejudices myself.
Good. Like I said, I like it when others have misconceptions of me.
Actually, while I was recuperating at the House of the Hearth, there was something else that really caught my attention. I heard that members always resolve disputes and arguments with a friendly spar, and the loser has to back down. Seems pretty cool if you ask me. Would also give them plenty of opportunities to hone their skills.
Well, that's only a recent development. In the past, such spars weren't nearly so friendly. The losing party would lose everything, including their life.
They were that high stakes? Whew, at least that's not a thing anymore.
Well, the current atmosphere's not half bad. I'm a bit jealous, actually. You've got so many family members around you, and you even get to live with them.
Having a lot of family around means dealing with a considerable amount of bickering and scheming. Once Tonya and Tusser enter their rebellious phase, I'm sure you'll understand. Just imagine. Tusser becomes obsessed with plucking out strands from the rooster's mustache, or Tonya decides to dye her hair 42 different colors.
Okay. I get the picture. Well, would you look at the time? Traveler, Paimon? I'm not sure where our paths will cross next.
Again, maybe this is a conversation we can have when you look less like you're gonna kill over.
All right. Well, thanks for...
No thanks necessary. You also played a part in obtaining the Gnosis.
I like the sound of that. Well,
We should probably get going too.
Oh? You want me to...
Oh,
I'm rather enjoying the evening breeze. If you don't mind, I think I'll... Apologies for not attending to you like a proper host. Please forgive this slight. I do...
We managed to keep her distracted until nightfall. Good thing Child was there to keep the conversation going. You don't think she suspected anything, do you? Oh, I wonder if Liddy ran into any issues. Let's hurry back and see how everything went.
Oh? You decided to stay... Oh?
Long story short, we ran into Everything was fine at first. She followed. But as I led her out of the shadows and into the sunlight, she vanished. I turned around and there she was, standing at the edge of the shadows, silently watching me.
Huh. Maybe she's afraid of sunlight, or... Well, we could... Oh, true.
I've pretty much tried it all already. Nothing worked. How did it go?
Good. I've got the.
Really? Well, what do we... Oh, that's a lot of pages. Oh, it's gonna take forever to get through it all.
We can each take a section. Here.
La Pouillade. Oh, yikes. That Aurore guy has a...
Ah, I've met him before. The scar is from an injury he received during a mission.
Did he say...
Well, I asked if there was someone he was interested in. He said it was only later that I learned he really did have someone he liked. He risked everything to escape so he could be with...
Wait, so that...
It may seem cruel, but it's just one of... Betrayal is not to be taken lightly. We know too many secrets to come and go as we please. Her name's not here, huh? Well, that's not too surprising. Let's shift our attention then. Fremine, were you able to find anything? Fremine.
Sorry. I managed to talk to quite a few people, but
Strange.
yeah, I mean, I know there have been arguments in the past.
Oh, those are two of the people that we met while delivering supplies. Paimon...
That's to be expected, actually. Father brought us all here, shared her knowledge with us, taught us how to fight. That's one thing. As members of the House of the Hearth, we're also considered part of the Fatui. And to certain members get older and realize they want something else for themselves. But people like Chaplot and Foltz are loyal to Father and her vision. They're proud to be part of the Fatui.
These kinds of conflicts have always been there.
Well, that's true. But it just feels like things have gotten worse. I can't say for sure.
You think she's been inciting them to...
No, not exactly. But she's told me about it before. Experiments be...
And they just believed all that?
Clairvy's words probably gave them the excuse they were looking for.
This is all because of projects...
Whoa. What's this Project Stooja all about?
Sorry, but I'm not sure of the details. I only know what Father has told us, which is that it's something the Rooster and Regrader have been working... Because the House of the Hearth was so successful in obtaining the
Wait, but isn't that a good...
Key role is just another way of saying dangerous role. Father thinks so too, but she's in no position to refuse. Their plan isn't... It's just that... We'll lose a lot of members in the process. Participating in the plan.
Okay, super complicated top secret Fatui business aside, what does all of this...
External pressure has a way of exacerbating internal strife. You can't overlook the power of fear either. I thought resolving the Clairvy situation would make everything go back to normal, but it looks like things are more complicated than I thought.
We can only focus on one situation at a time, brother.
You're right. Even if we confront Filial and the others, it won't do any good. Well, it's getting late. Lynette, you stick with me this time. Fremine, keep a close eye on Filial and the others. Make good work today, everyone. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, Paimon, Hey, she's even scary when she smiles. If she were to actually get angry... Ooh, you have to protect Paimon if that happens, okay, Traveler? Trust is effort, Traveler. Look over there. Quick, let's catch up with her. there before anyone sees. Over there! Oh, where is she going? Oh, if someone sees her, we're toast! Oh, look! She stopped! Clairvy! Shh! I opened the window while no one would look how pretty the outside is. If only I could have more than this. You probably think I'm being silly, huh? Oh, but please, help us get on the same page here, Claire. Sure. Although, everyone in this family is nothing more than a tool. Something to be. As long as you're useful, you get to stick around. Lose your value, and you're handed over to the doctor. You're saying that it's just. That doesn't seem like something she would do. I knew you. Everyone thinks she's a good person. Mother? But she doesn't deserve that title. She's disgraced it and tarnished it. If only Perry were here, she'd understand. Perry? Also, it almost feels like she's not really here with us. Paimon can't tell if she's actually talking to us or if she's... Well, in any case, it seems like she looks so young. It's getting windy. Ooh, look at the moon. Isn't it pretty? Hey, wanna hear a secret? I heard that if you look up at the night sky in Snezhnaya, you can see the aurora. It's supposed to be super pretty. Even prettier than the moon. Perry and I promised each other that, but I can't find her. I'm worried she's also been... No, that wouldn't happen to her. She's special. Mother likes her a lot. I should really go talk to Mother. But we just fought. She doesn't want to see. What should I do? I'm really... Well, let's head back.
All right, looks like we're all here. Let's go ahead.
Oh? What is it?
What makes you ask that?
Well, we met the doctor back in Sumeru.
It's possible that Father and the Doctor have had certain dealing. We're not really on the same side, so there's not a lot of trust between... I did hear, though, that when Father first became a Harbinger, the Father rejected most of his proposals, except for one.
Secret experiment? Could that...
I don't think so.
I don't know any details about the experiment itself, but I do know it's an entirely independent operation. The Doctor only the details of the experiment are confidential, but complete records are kept on all participants. That doesn't seem to be the case. I know you don't agree with some of the Fatui's methods, and I'm not asking you to.
Alright, that's good. Clairvy seems to think the Knave and the Doctor work together to do something horrible. It's just that it doesn't seem like Clairvy is lying either. The easiest thing to do would be just ask the Knave directly, but Paimon doesn't think she'd tell us.
Father didn't come back last night. She's probably still near. Lynette, you're with me. Fremine? All right.
Where are we going today?
Let's try somewhere further away.
Rise!
Into the wind!
Crumble!
Ah, it's you two again. I must say. Perhaps if you had less on your mind, you'd be able to absolve. So what are you planning to do now? Catch up on some sleep? Or should I? Although I must profess to being curious. Without child here, how do you plan on distracting me?
Us? Distract you?
Looks like you could have used some extra time to think. No matter. If you don't have any other, don't worry. I'll be sure to steer clear of any ski.
The ocean breeze is sure nice today.
Children always think they can hide things from the grown-ups. But nothing gets past me. Least of all a little scheming. Well, I'll leave you to think things over. If you're so inclined, meet me outside the Palais Mermonia. Good things come to children who do as they're told. So I do hope you decide to tag along. If only for your friends' sakes.
What should we do? She clearly knows about everything we've been doing, and Paimon doesn't think it'd be a stretch to say she was threatening us just now. Oh, good idea. Well, we should probably head to the Palais Mermonia. Paimon doesn't want to find out what happens if we don't show up. Based on what the knave was saying just now, it sure didn't. Okay, then we probably shouldn't keep her waiting. It seems like Linny and the others are on thin ice.
Seeing as we still have some time before my meeting, I'm glad to see you get along with my children. Being surrounded by—
You're not planning on doing anything.
I assume you're referring to Lenny, Lynette, although there's that situation with Filial and Nentoy as well. No matter. I'm not one to discriminate. All those who betray the house—
Does that mean you're going to kill them?
Oh, are you here to beg for their lives? I'm sorry to disappoint, but the rules of the house change for no one. In my organization, everyone is responsible for their own actions.
But don't you care about them at all? They really respect you. They even call you—
Any organization in which feelings come before principles is one destined for ruin. The House of the Hearth is hardly an exception. You could say our principles are more stringent than most. Perhaps I can offer you this consolation at least. As our guests, you two will not be held accountable along with them. I would imagine Linny, Lynette, and Fremine will be able to keep their lives. As for Filial, Nentoy, and the others, I'm afraid there's little I can do. They can try to escape, but once you know our secrets, there's no getting out alive.
But that's all.
Ah, you seem concerned. Out of consideration for my guests, I suppose I could turn a blind eye for a little longer. If Linny and the others manage to dispose of Clairvy in the meantime, all evidence of their wrongdoing will be lost. In that case, I could hardly punish them for something I couldn't prove. If their efforts are unsuccessful, on the other hand, all will be held accountable, and the punishment will be severe. Of course. Oh, and here, I believe this belongs to you. Do try and keep better track of it next time. It takes a considerable amount of time to train a bird like this. It would be such a pity if you were to lose it. Permanently.
Wait, where did you get that?
Well, I'm afraid that's all the time we have to chat. Now, for the matter at hand. I asked you to meet me here because I have business at the Palais Mermonia. It has nothing to do with you, but I think it would be prudent for you to stick by my side for the time being. There will always be time later to run off and tell Linny what you've learned. Well, time to go. Looks like we wrapped things up just in time. It's been a while, Monsieur Neuvillette. I must say, I wasn't expecting my meeting request to be approved quite so quickly.
It is only right that an esteemed diplomat such as yourself should be afforded the proper... Although, if I may speak plainly, I must confess that I did not anticipate we would have the occasion to meet again after presenting you with the Gnosis. I see you've brought the Traveler and Paimon with you as well.
I'll be departing Fontaine shortly. There is, however, an outstanding matter that I would like to see resolved before I go. It requires a rather lengthy explanation, I'm afraid. So I took the liberty of explaining everything in this proposal. Please review it at your leisure, Monsieur Neuvillette.
I understand your request. However, at the risk of causing offense, I must admit that I fail to see why you would wish for such a thing.
I heard you have a certain fondness for water tasting, Monsieur Neuvillette. So allow me to use water as an analogy. A family is like a large body of water with countless rivers flowing in and out. As someone who watches over this system, I would hope that each river that flows from the source will eventually reach the ocean. Of course, objectively speaking, I know this is impossible. Most of the rivers will dry up along the way, disappearing into the ground and leaving nothing but a barren riverbed behind. Not all rivers are destined to reach the ocean, but I would not see their existence rendered meaningless. I believe the water that flows within them is simply meant for a different destination, like a field in need of irrigation. Or perhaps the glass of a certain water-tasting enthusiast.
Did you get any of that, Traveler?
Your words paint an optimistic picture indeed. Allow me to remind you, however, few among us are willing to sip from a glass filled with tainted water.
It may have been tainted at one point in time, but not to worry. I'll make sure it's drained of all impurities and...
I seem to recall there being a transactional aspect to your proposal. Perhaps...
If you accept my proposal, Monsieur Neuvillette, I will gradually withdraw my forces from Fontaine. And, unless absolutely necessary, I will no longer carry out any special missions within Fontaine.
I presume I can take your words to mean that, in the future, cases similar to the Tartuffe assassination will cease to cross my desk?
Tartuffe? Ah, that thief who embezzled funds from all those charities, you mean? My deepest condolences to his family, but without any evidence, I cannot imagine how the House of the Hearth might have been involved in his passing. Of course, if you accept my proposal, Monsieur Neuvillette, I'm sure certain measures could be taken to reduce the frequency of such troubles.
You choose your words carefully indeed. In that case, I am inclined to accept your proposal.
My thanks for your generosity, Monsieur Neuvillette. Well, with that settled, we should be going now. I took the liberty of bringing along 2 bottles of spring water from Snezhnaya for you to enjoy. I do hope I get the chance to hear your impressions. Perhaps at our next meeting, yes?
Indeed. I trust you would not overlook your commitment in the meantime.
All right, Traveler Paimon. Time to go.
I believe I've told you before that my emotions easily... Yet in the few meetings I have had with that Harbinger, I haven't been able to sense any aspect of her emotional state. Her mind is like a still body of water. Who knows what darkness lies in its depths? And the lack of ripples on the surface gives nothing away. It's unclear whether this is her natural state of being, or whether it's an incredible strength of will that gives her the ability to master her emotions. Either scenario, however, suggests she is a very dangerous individual. I do not expect an explanation as to why you two are by her side. Whatever your reasoning, I would only advise you to take caution.
Every journey has its final day. Don't...
So, what exactly were you talking about back there? Paimon only heard you mention some rivers, a large body of...
You really want to know? I would imagine there.
Winnie, Paimon really hopes everything's going okay. Oh, Paimon recognizes that look. You've got your thinking cap on, don't you, Traveler?
Oh, shoot. Are you alright? Oh, jeez. I'm so sorry. I was so focused on selling these paper... Well, let me make it up to you at least.
Oh, you don't have to give us anything.
Please, I want to. It's my fault, really. I was just trying to bring home some extra mora for the family, but...
What's going on here?
Nothing much. I just ran into your friend here on...
Hold on.
Of course, I'm happy to compensate you with mora.
I'll take 3 papers.
Oh! Thank you for your patronage. If only I had the chance to run into such generous customers every day. I should probably just take on a smaller...
Well, now that my affairs are settled, we should take the boat back to Poisson. We've even...
Actually, why don't... Paimon just realized how hungry she is. She can't head back to Poisson on an empty stomach.
It appears you two are under the impression that delaying our return will somehow alter the situation. That being said, I could be persuaded to give Linny some extra time. If you agree to my request, I'll even answer some of your questions. You're quite curious.
Wait, why are
You overestimate yourself. You don't have the talent. The most important consideration in a negotiation is that both sides receive something they want. Wonderful. When the time comes, make the choice that you deem most appropriate in the situation, and lend your help to the House of the Hearth.
Okay, sounds normal enough.
That is for you to decide. Then we have a deal. Follow me.
All is accounted for. What is this place?
So Somewhere long forgotten by everyone. It used to be a grand building. Now it's nothing more than a pile of rubble. No one comes here anymore, nor does anyone care about what once happened here. Although, this place does have something to do with the story I'm about to tell you. It was before I became a Harbinger, and before Linny and the others joined the House of the Hearth. Due to certain events, I first killed Clairvy and then her mother. And this is where it all happened.
You were the one that killed Clairvy?
Patience now. Allow me to explain Clairvy's side of the story first. I'll start from... Clairvy was 6 years old when she was brought by her mother, Crucibina, to live in the House of the Hearth. From the outside, it seemed like a fairy tale. A thriving family made up of kind adults and friendly children. Crucibina was the knave at that time, and the House of the Hearth was under her control. She was Clairvy's mother by blood, but she was also the mother to all the children in the house. Clairvy was happy here, for a time. But she quickly realized that being part of this family wasn't a fairy tale at all. It was a kind of purgatory.
Purgatory?
Exactly. The House of the Hearth takes in war orphans from all over Tevat. But as for how to raise them, that depends entirely on the person in charge. Crucibina came up with a novel idea. She would teach the children to fight, force them to duel each other, and then crown as the king of the house the child who proved themselves most worthy of inheriting her title. It's difficult to estimate the number of children who died or were maimed in the process. There's little I can say about the ones who died. The ones that emerged with permanent injuries, on the other hand, well, they would be handed over to the doctor to be experimented on, or sent away on dangerous missions. Nothing more than tools to be used and then discarded.
So those were the experiments Clairvy was talking about. But what actually happened to her? You said that Clairvy was Crucibina's daughter, so if Clairvy tried to convince her to stop...
Despite being Clairvy's mother, Crucibina cared little for her daughter. She forced Clairvy to join the House of the Hearth only as a means to demonstrate her own impartiality as a mother, to prove that she treated all her children equally. Clairvy did try to convince her mother to change her ways, but it was to no avail. After her efforts failed, the only other option was to rise up and try to fight back. Unfortunately, the other children had already been thoroughly indoctrinated into the illusion of happiness Crucibina had created. Of course, there was one exception. Someone Clairvy's age who knew the truth about the House of the Hearth. Her name was Peruere.
Wait, the friend that Clairvy mentioned?
Friend, huh? I suppose we can call her that for now. Clairvy was a cheerful and passionate person with a tenacious spirit. Peruere, on the other hand, was rather cold-blooded. Her cold-blooded nature allowed her to see through Crucibina's facade. Yet, it was also this cold-bloodedness that prevented her from acting against it. At least at first. While Clairvy longed for freedom, Peruere was convinced that, amid all the fighting and violence, she would make it until the end. Despite their differences, the two became fast friends, united by their knowledge of the truth. Clairvy told Peruere that she hoped to create a real family, where no one would be killed or sacrificed. There may have been a certain naivete to her ideas, but Clairvy proved her determination many times over. She tried countless times to run away, ask for help, or expose the truth. But her efforts only earned her beating after beating. The only thing that kept her going was her strength of will. Even with her body racked with pain, she would still stand on her tiptoes and open the window at night. She and Peruere would look out at the moon together, a fierce longing for freedom shining in her eyes. But one day that light simply vanished.
Oh no.
Her hopelessness resulted from a culmination of things. 10 years had passed. 10 years worth of failure after failure. She and Perouer weren't children anymore, but finding any chance to escape still seemed as hopeless as ever. It was during this time that Perouer suggested a new plan. If escaping was out of the question, why not take down the very person sitting on top of this throne of lies? Clairvy rejected that proposal. She claimed that, as a famous harbinger, Crucibina possessed an unimaginable amount of power. Trying to kill her would have an incredibly low chance of... Clairvy never gave another reason, but Perouer could see it written all over her face. Clairvy, if she couldn't escape and fight back, then only one option remained. Precisely. Death was the only way that she felt she could be free. It happened during a duel. When she arrived at the dueling ring that day, her partner turned out to be none other than Perouer, the very person that had stood by her side all those years. It was a fierce battle. But ultimately, Clairvy decided to let Perouer end her life. From that moment on, Perouer's journey was one written in flames. When the rain finally came and washed it all away, there she stood, the sole victor in Mother's endless game of slaughter, a trail of corpses strewn across her path to success. It was the very result she had predicted 10 years prior. Even then, she believed she would make it until the end. She wasn't surprised by the fact that she emerged as Mother's undisputed heir. Rather, her success left her with an inexplicable sense of restlessness. She was unsettled, and there was only one thing that could quell that sensation. Perhaps you two would like to take a guess as to what it was?
Crucibina, you mean? But...
Correct. This is the place where Perouer killed her best friend. A mere year later, this is also the place where she fought tooth and nail to kill the mother they shared. The moment she acted, any conception of what was right or wrong ceased to matter. It's one of the principles of the house. Only those who survive get to write the rules. Perouer won the battle, and became a harbinger herself. After which Her Majesty, the Tsaritsa, bestowed upon her a new name. Alrecchino.
So the Perry Clairvy was talking about... It was you all along. You're Perouer. Alrecchino is just a name you got later.
I left that name behind long ago. I must say, hearing it now does bring back memories. After I defeated Crucibina, the moniker of Mother died with her. I chose to forego the title she called herself, and even chose to give up my own name. I rebuilt the House of the Hearth under a new identity. Not only as Alrecchino, but as father. And that is where the story ends. Any more questions?
Yeah. Based on what you just told us, Clairvy wasn't a little kid when she was killed. So the Clairvy we met... Was she really a spirit at all?
I suppose you could call her an illusion born of flame. Her existence is like ashes to a fire. Something left over in the wake of blaze and ruin. You see, a certain power runs through my veins. It's not unlike a curse. My flames leave behind shadows of anything they consume. Of course, the chances of those shadows morphing into a sentient entity are exceedingly slim. Clairvy is a very special case. Clairvy died when she was 16 years old, but what emerged from the flames was her 6-year-old self. Her appearance wasn't the only thing affected. Most of her memories were lost to the blaze as well. Memory is a mysterious thing indeed. Losing a portion of your memories will alter your sense of self. Lose 10 years' worth, however, and it would be like living in the past. Like returning to a version of yourself that never grew up.
No wonder Paimon got such a weird feeling when we were talking to her.
Perhaps I should put it this way. Clairvy is someone trapped in time. It may seem like she exists with us in the present, but she truly lives in the confines of her own past.
So if all of that is true, then you must have known—
Indeed. She's a rather volatile and unstable entity. Sometimes she would look after the children. She's even saved some of their lives. But other times, she would hide from me and become obsessed with revealing the truth about the house to anyone who will. Shadows don't have the capacity to learn or grow. Any new information— Your attempts to expose Clairvy to sunlight. They failed, yes? The reason is actually quite simple. In Clairvy's mind, the house is impossible to escape, and it is this very perception that traps her there. But no matter. All I have to do is kill her again, and all will be resolved. I don't anticipate so much as a single speck of ash will be left behind this time.
Wait! Paimon can understand why you might want her gone, but isn't there another— So what if she's trapped in her 6-year-old self? She's still your friend!
It's too late for that. She broke the rules, and now she must be punished. That goes for Filial and Nantoy as well. She's had quite the effect on them. I hope you understand. The difference between Crucibina and myself lies in our formulation of the rules, not our policy for enforcing them. Upholding the rules without question is a trait we both share, because that is how a household should be run.
Is this really what you want to do?
Whatever could you mean?
Don't you want to say a proper goodbye at least?
Whether as a killer or as a father, there are two things that must be avoided at all costs: anger and sorrow. Anger makes you impulsive. Sorrow causes you to waver. Well, it appears it's about time to proceed. Before we arrived, I told some of my well-behaved children to bring our troublemakers here by nightfall. I do believe I've kept my end of the deal. I gave your friends quite a bit more time. As for what happens now, we'll just have to wait and see.
Here they are, Father.
Oh, you gonna execute him? Seeing some— Lenny!
I'm sorry. I heard about how you helped buy us more, but I still failed. I couldn't find a way to fulfill her wish.
Huh? Are you— Perry?
Indeed, it's been a while, Clairvy.
Perry!
Shh, stay right there. I'm sorry to postpone our reunion, but first I believe certain scores need settling.
Father, let me explain.
Out of my way.
Father!
You chose to conceal a threat to the house. And for that, you must be punished. Overall, however, I suppose your wrongdoing is hardly the most egregious of the bunch, so I'll deal with your punishments later. As for right now, the more pressing
By traitors?
Father, let me explain. We didn't mean to.
Fultz, why don't you share what you heard?
Yes, Father. Secret Midnight Meeting number 3. Participants, Nantoy clearly said. If Sato added, I'm sick of this life. I just want— Filial was the worst of them all. She called us crazies and said—
I did not! You're lying!
It's not like I'm the only one who heard those things. After that, you and Toddy and a bunch of other people started talking about Clairvy. You were using all those things Clairvy brought up as an excuse to— We're birds locked in a cage.
You little. You just want me gone, don't you? What did I ever do to you, huh? And you, Sheplo, have you forgotten who stood by your sickbed?
You're wrong, Filial. We don't want you to die.
Liar.
You wouldn't be doing this if that were the case.
We all live in the House of the Hearth. A single betrayal can cost dozens of us our lives. It's not like That's why the House of the Hearth cannot tolerate any form of betrayal. Ever since we came to Poisson, you've had 7 secret meetings. A lot of the things...
You've been spying on us for half a month? Wait a second. Now that I think about it, the move to Poisson...
Filial, I owe you both my life. I owe Clairvy too. If it weren't for all your help after I got poisoned, if this were any other situation, I would do anything to repay that kindness. Even if it...
Why?
That's enough, Filial. We made a mistake. And we should... I'm sorry, Chapleau. Fultz. I'm sorry, Father. We...
Chapleau, according to the rules of the House of the Hearth.
All those who betray the house...
And so it shall be.
Father, please wait!
Something you want to say?
Please reconsider, Father. We all come from broken families. From the very first day we joined. But the truth is, none of us know what a real home should look like. I'm not saying I have all the answers. All I know is this. Killing Phil. So please, Father.
I agree with Linny.
Father, please.
Linny, you...
I also agree with
An order once given can... However, given the extent...
Our weapons?
Father, are you referring to...
Precisely. The rules of the house will not be altered. Traitors must be punished. However, resolving disputes with a duel is also one of our rules, one that also applies to me. Demonstrate a sufficient showing of strength, and I shall offer a concession.
Wait.
Impossible. Did you hear that, Traveler? Lynn and the others have to duel the knave. If they lose, those people from the house are really gonna be
Don't you want to say a proper goodbye?
Anger makes you impulsive. Sorrow.
Oh. Looking at that expression on her face, she seems really serious about this. Guess that means...
When guests are around, families are often on their best behavior.
When the time comes, make the choice that you deem most appropriate in the situation, and lend your help to the House of...
What's wrong? Traveler? Hey, where are you going?
Traveler?
You're asking to join the duel against the knave?
I'll allow it. We do have a ready-made dueling ring at our disposal, after all. All I would advise is this. Keep a firm grasp on your weapon, and give it your all. Any less, and you may just lose your life. Spare your energy. Running is of little use. With and rising flames. Is it my turn now?
Solidify. This is order.
Many happy returns!
Is it my turn now? Now that's more like it.
Gather!
With these rising flames! Is it my turn now?
The wind knows me. I only have to draw my blade. Then...
Spare your energy. Running is of little use. Have a taste of purgatory. And voila! Is it my turn now?
Covenant of the Deep!
Closer now.
Hang in there!
The countdown has begun.
Wind Strider!
This is order.
I really have to draw my blade.
With these rising flames!
Allow me!
Is it my turn now? Not bad. You've proven to be a worthy opponent after all.
Let's move out.
Now's our chance!
My blade is all that remains.
Stabilize. Order guide.
Watch out for Father's movement! Look out!
Allow me!
Now's our chance!
Over here!
The wind knows me.
The sun and moon have set. Only ruin remains.
Hold the line!
All hope has been extinguished.
Yeah!
Watch out for Father's movement! Look out! Birds up!
I will have order.
Rest and rebuild!
Suntown is only the beginning.
Now's our chance!
Over here!
Congratulations!
You should know better than to crowd in one place.
Oh, I know. No! I'm sorry, Father!
Sorry for what? This pitiful excuse for an attack.
Father, no!
Made it out, did you? You're stronger than I expected.
A crimson moon? I can't move.
Still, not strong enough to beat me. I believe we can end things here. It's not often that we get to enjoy the company of guests, after all. We wouldn't want things to get too out of hand.
Brother! Lenny!
Given that I am the victor of this duel, as a group—
No!
I never thought things would end.
However, everyone involved in the duel demonstrated a remarkable level of strength and determination. In light of this, I'm prepared. Elwar, the bottled flames I gave you for safekeeping. Do you still have them?
Yes? I wasn't sure what they were for.
Wonderful. Then, in just a moment, I'll have you administer them.
Bottled flames?
Indeed. They're the product of a secret experiment. Under certain special circumstances, flames can be extracted from my person and preserved. Once ingested, searing pain will spread across every inch of your body. No harm will come to you physically, but your memories will be burned away, if you can withstand the pain. When you awake, you'll have forgotten everything you know about the House of the Hearth, and will be expelled from the organization. In other words, administering this concoction will kill the version of you that grew up in the house, and give you a new identity. Memory is a mysterious—
So, you're just letting us go, Father?
You misunderstand. Memories are extremely important. Once consumed by flame, the version of you standing before me will die, and our secrets will die with you. So no, I don't intend to just let you go, because the person who survives will be nothing but a stranger.
Even so, I'm sorry, Father. I'm sorry I let you down. But I really—
Don't cry, Philip. You haven't left the house yet, so there are still rules to be followed, yes? Remember what I taught you. Anger makes you impulsive, sorrow causes you to waver.
Of course.
Dry your tears, and go pursue the life—
Yes, Father.
Chaplot, Foltz, Elwar. Take them back. I prepared 3 extra vials of bottled flames. As for whether to— Goodbye, children. The next time we meet, I will no longer be your father. Thank you for all you've done for the house. I hope you have bright—
Father!
Let's go.
Here, grab my arm, Linny.
Thank you.
Clairvy.
Can we talk now? You really are Perry, aren't you? I haven't seen you in so long. How come you're all grown up? Wait, did I somehow travel to the future on accident?
Neither. You died, Clairvy. That's what happened.
You could have at least sugarcoated it a little. Look, she's done speechless. Oh. Huh? That's it? Yep. If that's what Perry says happened. Plus, I don't really need to know why I'm like this. I'm more curious about what happens in the future. If you're a harbinger now, Perry, that means Mother is gone, isn't she? Can you tell me about it? I want to know what happened to her. And to me.
You never stopped trying to defy fate. At first, no one believed you. You could only vent your frustrations to the moon. In fact, you often sought comfort in the night sky. You wanted to see the aurora, so one night we promised each other we would go to Snezhnaya to see it together. Later on, you tried to run away, but you were brought back each time. Mother spared your life, but it wasn't out of kindness. Instead, she decided to make an example of you by slowly torturing you over time. That way, the other children would know what happens to traitors. Still, you never gave up. Mother hoped that through ruthless duel after ruthless duel, she would be able to crown an ultimate victor among the children she raised. But you called on everyone to unite, to fight to a draw in order to reduce casualties. Your efforts may have only delayed the inevitable, but still. You gave them hope. You tried everything you could think of, but every attempt ended in failure. Still, you never turned your sword on Crucibina, and you never turned it on me. On that gloomy day, you told me, for the last 16 years of my life, I've done everything I can to fight for freedom. But now, I realize that the only freedom I truly possess is the freedom to choose to die.
I never imagined I would say something like that. I must have been feeling really worn down. But somehow, I still think I understand. According to Mother's plan, only one of us was going to make it until the end. And I always hoped that person would be you. If I could do it all over again, I still don't think I would make a different choice. Even when I first met you, I knew you'd be able to do what I couldn't.
Is that so? Even now, I'm not sure I truly understand what kind of freedom you were trying to pursue. But as the head of the House of the Hearth, and as the children's father, I've tried to give them the most basic of freedoms. The freedom to choose their own fate. It's something I discussed with the Eudex of Fontaine. The children who want to leave the house will have their memories wiped clean of all secrets pertaining to the organization. In return, they will be allowed to live a normal life in Fontaine without being prosecuted for their past. Of course, I won't simply hand freedom to them on a silver platter. They have to fight for it and prove themselves worthy of it. Only freedom that is earned has true value.
That's more than enough. That's exactly the kind of life I was fighting for. You know, Perry, I think you're a pretty amazing king, and a really great father, too. I'm really happy that you're the one who took over the house. I guess I do have one regret, though. I still haven't seen the outside world.
Well, it just so happens that our dear guests over here have been to many nations and traveled to countless places. Perhaps they would be willing to tell you what the outside world is like.
Really? Of course! We've traveled all over the place. place. We've got so many stories, we could probably talk your ears off for 3 days straight. You know, I used to dream of being a bard, playing the lute while singing into the winds of freedom. Even if there was no one there to listen, I would have continued to sing no matter what. Ah, that's where Mora comes from. I never knew that before. If I had some Mora, I would buy 3 new dresses. One for me, one for Perry, and one for Mother. It's just too bad Perry doesn't like wearing dresses. And Mother, well, she probably wouldn't accept something like that either. I guess I'd just have to keep them all for me then. I could wear a different one every day. Those yokai you mentioned, what do they... I once saw a drawing of this one guy with horns on his head and a super... Oh, sounds like you're talking about an Oni. Yep, we've met one, and let Paimon tell you, they're not nearly as scary as they look. I was always too afraid to skip Mother's fighting lessons. But at the academia, I bet you could do all sorts of secret things in class. Things that have nothing to do with studying. I'm just kidding. Being able to study whatever you want without having to fear for your life actually sounds pretty great. The situation was super dangerous. Lenny and Lynette were accused of committing a crime, and they were going to have to stand trial at the Opera Epicles. Oh no, that must have been... Don't worry, we were able to turn the situation around super quickly. All thanks to Detective Paimon, of course. How'd you do that? Come on, tell me. Okay, so it was like this. After the failed magic show, we rushed to the scene and...
Shadows don't have the capacity to learn or grow. Any... Clairvy, you've worked tirelessly from the shadows to overthrow the House of the Hearth. Now, by my authority as the Knave, I shall announce how this matter ends. You are hereby expelled from the House of the Hearth. You are no longer tied to this place, nor are you bound by its rules.
You're saying that I can finally leave? I get to experience the outside world as well? Oh, I almost forgot. There's no getting older for me. Still, seeing who you grew up to be makes me really happy, Parallel. Take care of yourself. Goodbye.
May we meet again someday.
Clairvy. She left so soon. Paimon didn't even get...
I also have certain sentiments left unsaid. I wanted to tell her that the aurora I saw in Snezhnaya was just as beautiful as the ones in the pictures. But a shadow's memories reset at dawn. Had we delayed any longer, we wouldn't have had the time to say goodbye. Whatever regrets may linger, let them be lost to the coming of a new day.
Father?
It's Linny! Hey, Linny! What is he doing back here? Let's go...
Father, the bottled flames have been
And you?
Thank you for giving us that choice, Father. Lynette and Fremine feel the same way.
I'm sure you're well aware of the expectations I have for you. I want you to follow in my I must admit. I'm rather surprised by your decision to stay. There's nothing wrong with choosing to live a quiet life.
I just never understood what you saw.
You're brave, talented. You would do anything to protect them.
Speaking up back there was so brave of you, Linny. It's all
You're a hero, Linny.
Hero? Father is the real hero. Had Father gone all out during the duel, there's no way I would have walked away with my... I'm not deserving of that title.
You're wrong. In my opinion, all you need to be deserving of the throne is conviction and the necessary strength. We may have different ideas of what it means to be a family, but you can hardly be said to lack conviction. What you truly lack is strength. For someone of your talent, though, even without that strength. You still chose to face me in a duel, even though the odds were stacked against you. That capacity to honor your convictions is what I truly see in you.
Father.
No one knows what the future holds, what tragedy or triumph may be in store. Being at the head of this organization requires the strength of will to face whatever comes. Caution will only hold you back. If reaching a certain standard were required to go after what you want, I would never have succeeded in killing my predecessor. Back then, there was still a considerable gap between our abilities. Strength may decide the ultimate victor, but those who let a lack of strength dictate their decisions or undermine their convictions will never be worthy of the throne.
I understand, Father.
Children must grow up to surpass their parents. The road ahead is not an easy one, so I'll ask you one last time. Are you certain you want to stay?
You've done so much for me, Father, and that kindness must be repaid. Protecting my family at all.
Then you're welcome to stay. As for Project Stuja, you need not be too concerned. If those cowardly having members who longed for the light was our organization's last weakness. With those members no longer among our ranks, the House of the Hearth is like a spider hiding in the shadows. We need only wait for our prey to come to us. At present, our imperative is to use their plan to our advantage. In doing so, a crimson moon shall rise amid the frigid blizzards of winter. No demonstration of loyalty shall go unrewarded, and no sacrifice shall be in vain. As for the two of you, whether we meet again as friend or foe, I'll remember the camaraderie we shared in this moment, no matter how arduous the journey ahead. I hope we both reach our desired destination.
Thank you for...
The pleasure is all mine.
Didn't Linny say that Lynette and Fremine were recovering at the Hotel Booth d'été? Paimon wonders how they're doing. Maybe we should go check on them. Lynette? Fremine? How are you feeling?
Much better. What about you? Are you feeling alright?
I knew you'd come out unscathed. Us, on the other hand, well, we've been bedridden for 2 days. I couldn't even turn over. Oh, and I want Linny and the other members have left Poisson and returned to the House of the Hearth. According to him, there haven't been any more sightings of a spirit roaming the house.
I see.
I'm glad. Father came to check up on us 2 days ago and told us about what happened with Crucibina and Clairvy. Actually, I've met Crucibina before.
Wait, what? You've met...
Crucibina died a year after Clairvy. It was during the year between their deaths that I joined the House of the Hearth. Crucibina had an extremely cruel and radical way of doing things. While she was alive, the atmosphere in the house... When I joined, though, the experiment she valued so much had already come to an end, and all the people involved, dead and injured alike, were gone. Crucibina never talked about the past with us newcomers. A couple of months after I joined, Father killed Crucibina and burned all her files. With that, the names of all the people subjected to her experiments, Clairvy included, were lost to the flames, along with the painful memories they represented.
Father took in Lenny and me a couple months after that, but she never mentioned anything about Crucibina or Clairvy.
It really seems like something she was planning to keep to herself. The last time you talked to her, did she mention why she kept it a secret for so long?
She said she didn't want us to be affected by the darkness of the past. She was worried we'd develop a false sense of gratitude towards her if we knew about it. The foundation of a family should be free of any corrupting influence. And that's what Father told us.
But I still thanked her for everything. It was only after hearing about what Crucibina did that I finally realized how insignificant our lives could have been. The members of the house meant nothing to her. To say that she valued them in any way, even just as a tool, would probably be giving her too much credit. If Father hadn't taken over the House of the Hearth, I probably would have already...
Father rarely brings up the fact that she saved us. She doesn't believe that being indebted to her should be what ties us together. But even if we didn't owe her anything, we would still choose to stay. We may have arguments or times when we feel wronged. Some people...
Whether the path before us is bathed in sunlight or shrouded in shadow. So I wanted to say thank you for helping us make it through this crisis.
Oh, we didn't do anything, really.
Of course.
Are Filial and...
I actually saw them at a cafe. They didn't recognize me. From what I could tell, they were drinking coffee and talking about one of the operas as they seemed happy. If I...
Solidify! Settle down!
Into the wind! The wind knows me.
Time to go. Time to go. offering. Time to go. Fine.
Stabilize! Bow your head.
Into the wind.
Abandoned. Property belongs to whoever finds it first. So, it's legally yours now.
Silence!
Abandoned property belongs to whoever finds it first. So, It's legally yours now.
one with nature.
Bow your head. Settle down.